not looking good for Chelsea, is it, at the moment? There's so much to talk about. But let's just talk about Pochettino firstly. One of the questions has been asked as to whether or not he can manage at big clubs with big players. Your answer to that at the moment would be it's too early to answer that? They've got too many injuries, or it's just not working out for him at the moment? Is it his fault? Why are Chelsea so poor at the moment?
We look at Graham Potter's time at Chelsea, and Graham Potter, at least when he first walked in the door, I think he was unbeaten in his first 9. I think he played really well. We've not even seen that from Poch at the minute. Not seen it, and we absolutely... I think Potter got hammered towards the end when he was going, and they look better then than they do now. But for Pochettino, I mean, he went to Paris Saint-Germain, talk about big players. Clearly didn't work with Mbappe, Messi and Neymar. I mean, these guys are like whales, aren't they, when you think about it in terms of big players. He's gone back to Chelsea. There are some big players in the dressing room, but he can't seem to get a tune out of them. Now, we've seen him be really successful, done really well at Southampton. When he first brought them up, I'm not saying he turned them into champions, but do you know what I mean? What he did there, and then when he went to Spurs and took them Champions League final, I think he finished second a couple of times, really pushed for the league, got them playing that really attractive football. After that was supposed to be the springboard, because that was always thrown at Poch, that he's an elite manager because of what he did at Spurs. That was always the argument. When I said he wasn't an elite manager, the argument was always, well, look what he's done at Spurs. Hasn't had the back in, and he still turned Spurs into what they are, which is fair enough. Went to PSG, which was supposed to be didn't work for him. I know he won the title, won a couple of cups, but he managed to lose the league the first time when he first walked through the door. He's not really looked upon at PSG as a successful time, because everyone wins the league there, right? Unai Emery did better than him there. He's got the Chelsea job now, and he just can't seem to get a tune out of these players now. For whatever reason, maybe he's a project manager. But then you think Chelsea, I almost feel are stuck in this kind of phase where, are they going to be a team that rebuilds, or do they need instant success now? Now, Potter was supposed to be the one that rebuilt Chelsea, but yet it was getting that bad, they went, no, pull the plug. I almost feel like Pochettino, if this doesn't get better, they can say what they want about, we'll give him time, he's got to rebuild the squad. If Chelsea come Christmas time, a bottom half of the table, and I'm talking like halfway between bottom and, do you know what I mean, top 10, they might have to make a change. They might have to.
There's no... I look at the Chelsea side. It doesn't look like a Chelsea team. There's no spine to it.
No.
They can't score goals. They've got 5 goals in 6 games. 3 of them were against Luton. I mentioned just going into the news, actually, that since 2017, in 6 years, coming up to 7 years, they've spent just shy of £300 million on strikers. None of them have delivered. I know they've got injuries, but all clubs have injuries. Nicholas Jackson's got 1 goal in 6 games. How much of this is the fault of the owner, Todd Bowley? And the reason I ask that is when he came in, he spent over £1 billion now on players, right? His background is not football. It's not English football or soccer, whatever you want to call it. And instantly, when it was like a scattergun approach, just buying a player over there, playing through the odds for them, paying crazy money for all kinds of different players. Lots of them they didn't need. They didn't address the problem from day one, which was an out-and-out goal scorers, and they still haven't got that. And also, I do think when you look at clubs that are doing incredibly well at the moment, like Liverpool, like Man City, if you're new to a game, you would look at the big heads, the teams that are doing well, and you try and copy what they're doing, right? Chelsea haven't done that. They've brought in way too many players. They're offering them contract lengths of contract, which are just so ridiculous. And no one else, by the way, has looked at that model and thought, oh, they're getting away with it. There's a little loophole there. Maybe we should copy it. They've not done that for obvious reasons, because you have players like Mudryk coming in, who you pay nearly £90 million for and offer an 8-year deal. If he doesn't start performing, he'll be sat on his backside on the bench, looking out. No clubs are going to come in. Fernandes, they paid £115 million for him. All right, nothing exciting.
Not got going yet.
All of them, we can go through. Even players like Thiago Silva, we know as superstars, not stepping up. Yeah. And when you look at the the teams they've got coming up, Fulham away, Burnley away, Arsenal at home, Brentford at home, Spurs away, City at home, Newcastle away, Brighton at home, Manchester United away. I mean, when you're struggling, those are tough games. Even the next 2. I personally think if they don't beat Fulham and Burnley, if they're the next 2, he could be gone.
But that's the thing, and that's where Chelsea Football Club. And you talk about Todd Bowley. I think as a football fan, what do you want your owner to do? Put his hand in his pocket, buy players. It's the recruitment. So who that person is underneath Todd Bowley, that's the problem. Because Todd Bowley, I know he's coming with these crazy ideas about all-star games and this, that and the other, and trying to put players on long contracts. But end of the day, if you're a football fan and you get a new owner, the first thing, after you've had Roman, by the way, who's been fantastic for Chelsea, you think, right, I don't want the money to dry up. I want my owner to put his hand in his pocket and show that he cares like the previous owner did. I think he's done that. But it's whoever the recruitment is in bringing in these players, that's the problem there, because as you said, they're all the players they brought in, and I know they brought in Nkunku and he got injured. That's not helped. Nicholas Jackson has done well to a point.
He hasn't.
Well, he hasn't. You're right, because he's a goal scorer.
1 in 6, yeah.
He's a striker.
That's not a return.
You're right. It's not good enough. I think
but also, sorry, with Todd Bowley coming in, he got rid of all the people that work behind the scenes that have been there for a long time.
I blame him for that.
Right? He got rid of all the people, even down to the groundsman and his son. I think he got rid of the groundsman and his son. I mean, that's not the reason they're not winning.
No, but I think there must be a reason. I'd love to know.
You need stability at a club.
You do need stability. And I think what he should have done was keep, the only thing I could think of, unless he didn't trust these people and he thought, I'm not sure about one or two of these individuals, which is why I got rid of them all. You'd think, right, just for a year or so, I'll keep you people in place.
You don't know how to run a football club.
I'll give you a lot of the money and then you do what you've been doing, because that model's worked for Chelsea for the last 20 years. So just keep doing that. The fact he hasn't done that is a bit odd. But some of these players also have got to look at themselves and think, my performance is not great. But look, the problem I think for Chelsea as well is that they're not creating. It's not that they're not creating opportunities. They're just missing clear-cut chances. Like clear-cut chances. Like Jackson goes through, he chooses the wrong option. He goes with the outside of his right foot at the near post when he should open his body out and just roll it into the far corner. Sterling lets the ball run too far. By the time he shoots, there's no angle there. Enzo Fernandez, World Cup winner, 100 million, comes back to him, just put it in the empty net, puts it over the bar and wide. So I think as a manager, Pochettino, yes, he's got to take some of the blame because he's the manager. But when you see your team missing chance after chance, there's nothing you can do about that. Like if you set a team up to play a certain way and you go and create 10 chances and they miss all 10, like what's he supposed to do? He keeps trying to chop and change with the formations, not so much the formations, personnel, and they just keep missing chances.
10 shots to Aston Villa's 15, 4 of them on target. Aston Villa had 7.
That's the thing. And even Watkins' goal, I think goalkeeper, how are you getting beat from there?
Did he go through his legs?
Through his legs. Like, how are you getting beat from there? But my point is,
terrible.
As a manager, if you set them up and they miss 10 chances, what can you do about that?
But also, when they bought in Sanchez, you and I were both, is he better than what they had? Was he better than Mendy and Azpilicueta? Arrizabalaga? Yeah. Sorry. I'd rather have Azpilicueta to be better.
Honestly.
But is he a number one?
No.
I don't think...
I'm not quite sure he is. Like he wasn't number one at Brighton, but it's still early. I'm sure he will come good. But I just think for Chelsea, and Pochettino's probably thinking to himself, what can I do now? Like, it's not like you've got Messi, Neymar and Mbappe to bail you out. Right now, you're looking for that winning formula. But as I said, if they keep missing chances, chance after chance, some of these are not half chances. These are clear-cut chances. What can you do?
We're going to take calls in a moment on this. Just quickly, Chelsea 14th at the moment in the Premier League. Won 1 out of 6, is that? 6.
Well, his record is 7, 1-2, drawn 2, lost 3.
Is top 4 over?
Yeah. Unless they put a run together where they win every game from now to the end of the season. Of course it is.
But when you've got other teams flying, like Spurs, like Arsenal, like Brighton, top 4's over for Chelsea already.
I think so. I'm getting to the point where I'm questioning top 6.
I agree. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what can he possibly... Unless the ball starts flying in the back of the net, what can Pochettino change that's going to make a massive impact?
Will he be there in January?
Depends. He needs to get some of his injuries back, by the way. That's the problem. Reece James out. Would get in most teams.
If they don't win against Fulham and Burnley, and by that I mean draw or lose.
No, he'll still be there.
He'll still be there.
Yeah.
Lose against both?
No, I think they'll get a result. I can't believe I'm even saying this. I think they'll beat one of them.
Which one? Burnley?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a way, by the way.
If they get beat by Burnley, there's massive problems then.
Okay.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.